When I was 12, we were in very small place, 1.5 bedroom with 5 people. So we moved to a bigger place where everybody got a room. And a month after we went there, my father just fell down next to me and died. I would give everything just to go back to the 1.5 bedrooms and be with the person that I love. And that gave me the understanding that I need to appreciate what I have.
Welcome to YanaTV, where we amplify the voices of impactful and conscious people of Asia. Today with me in the studio, I have a former trade commissioner, a venture capitalist, a senior corporate leader with decades of experience, and now an international speaker with years and years of transformation, Avi Liran. Polish turned Singaporean with many years being in Asia and working in Asia. When did you arrive in Asia?
In 1992,
Why did you come in 1992?
I came from work, and then I fell in love both with the place and both with the mother of my kids.
Okay, so you came, you stayed, and you turned eventually into the work which you're doing right now, which is what?
I'm researching and learning a lot about how to make a positive workplace and culture, and my research topics are appreciation and how through building confidence it really ignites intrinsic motivation, and kindness and generosity. It all blends into that. How you can be ambidextrous leader, get for results and take care of the people together.
In my experience of studying people, and I have been doing it for a very long time now, I noticed that especially when someone goes on stage or in the room and teaches about compassion and kindness and positive attitude and delight, there are always stories that led that person into eventually positive mindset. And so I'm just curious to hear what was one of the most forming stories for you to become the person you are today.
When I was 12, and before that, my mom would complain. We were in a very small place. We had a 1.5 bedroom with 5 people, and my mom said it's too cramped. She complained. So we moved to a bigger place where everybody got a room. And a month after we went there, my father just fell down next to me and died. And
I'm sorry about that.
thank you. And that was a changing moment because I had profound principles that I live my life that rooted there. One of them is seeing my mom complained and crying at night that I was actually happy and I didn't know it. I would give everything just to go back to the 1.5 bedrooms and be with the person that I love. And that gave me the understanding that I need to appreciate what I have and make sure that appreciation is part of not only gratitude, but gratitude in motion, that I make sure that people know that I appreciate them.
Did you feel like you had to step up and become the man of the house, or you have an older brother or sister who was playing that role?
A younger sister, and in a way, I had to help my mom with decisions. I also became independent. I was cleaning stairways, I was cleaning cars, I was teaching young kids basketball until I was caught doing that. He was a very tall man. He was in his late 50s, and he happened to be the general manager of the second best team in the league. And he said, how come do they listen to you? I was 12, and they were 11. And he said, how come they listen to you? I said, why shouldn't they? And he said, you know what? Do you want to get paid for that? I said, you're going to pay me for teaching basketball? I say, yes, but you need to go to the University of Sport every summer and you join the team. So we're going to coach you. And by 17, I was the head coach of the women team.
Okay, now back to, because the life is very comprehensive, right? So now back to the funeral story that you were about to share.
So there were hundreds of people there. I thought the entire world is mourning for my dad. But in the memorial every year, there was my mom, my aunt, my sister, and I. And that gave me surprisingly, a wonderful sense of liberation, because everybody has their life. Nobody has the time to just looking at you and what you're doing. So I felt, okay, I can be myself. I can do all these stupid things that I want to do with the creative, stupid ideas. So why should I listen to how you want me to live my life? But that came with a toll, because the opera singer next building suffered from my full volume music.
Oh, you were that kind of teenager.
So I needed to learn how to move the finger from this one to this one, which means do what you want, but don't hurt other people. And as I aged later on, when I changed a digit, I decided, do what you want, be who you are, don't hurt other people, add the value to other people. Make sure that people, when they go out of interaction with you, I do it most of the time. I know that sometimes I don't walk my talk. I'm human. But I apologize, I reflect, I ask for forgiveness, and I retry.
You have been already having a very eclectic career with different dimensions to it. So when you were, let's say, in a diplomat sector, when you were a trade commissioner, what do you feel was your biggest strength in that job, and why?
Complex negotiations. And complex negotiations that can take a few years, but the result is massive afterwards. And understanding generosity is very, very easy to bring as a strategy. I remember before I came to the diplomatic corps, I bought on my own account, I put a few $100s, and I bought nice, beautiful plates, Armenian plates. And I went to every meeting and I gave the plate as a gift. And when you come with abundance and generosity to people, it's amazing how the conversation is totally different. And generosity is a great tactic in negotiations. I give you an example. My webmaster, we agreed on 50% in advance. And when it came the time to pay him the other 50%, I said, Sandeep, I'm sorry, I can't pay you the 50%. Say, what do you mean? I said, you did such a great job, I'm paying 20% more. And a few weeks later, he sent me a message and say, you had an attack on your website. I put security, everything is fine. And for the last decade, we are working together. And he's part of my team like a family. So always think in negotiations, make sure that they get what they want and you get what, there's always a win-win. You don't have to really compromise when you find the win-win.
When you're a venture capitalist, a really memorable event that happened for you, what was that?
I was amazed by the entrepreneurs. In venture capital, I brought Singtel to make nine investments, and we had 5 exits, which is not bad for early stage. But I think it's not about me, it's about the entrepreneurs. As venture capitalists, the worst nightmare is where you bring to the investment committee things that they should invest in, and then they say no because they have very good reasons. And then it goes, boom, it goes for $1 billion exit, $1 billion. I say, I told you so. But you should never think about that. But it's amazing what they can teach you about failure and how important it is to fail fast, learn, redo, fail.
Okay, tell me a story
fast.
about failure that really
Actually,
shaped you.
I failed a few times in my life. In 2007, we raised a fund for $200 million to invest in Vietnam and in Thailand. And we got already $50 million from one investor. We started investing in Bangkok. We signed an agreement, and another $150 million were supposed to come by a venture firm, Pacific Star, and then 2008 came.
And we all remember 2008.
It all crashed. I lost all the money that I had. I also, at that time, had a relationship problem, so I was I was the first time on my life, in knockout that was on the floor, but I didn't get up at 10. I was totally crushed. That was a
I'm
really
sorry to
tough time.
hear about it too. That sounds like a really tough time.
Yes, and probably for a purpose.
So why are you saying that?
I think I'm a little bit arrogant, and
Back then.
I think I'm an arrogant, period. And it's my morning walk to say, "You're not going to be arrogant today," because I have this demon, and say, try to be a better part of yourself. And I think when you're helping people with positivity, you have the illusion that you know, and you have the illusion that you could help people, ask people about their purpose. 95% of the people say that they want to help others, all right? They want to help for kids, they want to help for elders or trees. So we have this beautiful imaginary helper vision that you are at the top of the mountain and you're helping people from down up. But when you're down, that's not the way to help. You need to have a different metaphor. The metaphor when we were kids, remember? We were helping each other sneak to the soccer game. We would put our hands like this. Somebody puts their dirty shoe on your hands, then another dirty shoe on your shoulders and sneak out. You're the last one, you go up. Because when you are depressed, you can't see. People tell you the worst kind of things. They tell you, if you can't love yourself, you can't love others. And that's the worst thing that you can tell to someone that is eating grass. Number one, it's not true. I loved my kids. I loved my family. I love my friends. I love my customers. It's not true. And it's judgmental. The first thing you need to help a person is to find themselves, to trust themselves back, to speak nicely to themselves as they want other people to speak. And only then they can relearn to love themselves.
So what was that brought you on this journey, that helped you to find that?
It's a process. Probably I got it from the universal God as a gift. So I could stop being an asshole that judges people. And with the soul of a teacher, sometimes I make the mistake and I give unsolicited advice.
I think we all have been there with arrogance and judgment and advices that people sometimes don't want to hear.
So, and I fell from time to time, but most of the time I ask people if they can give me a cent. And only when they give me a cent, either with a clap, okay, I give you a cent. I say, okay, when you give me, I can, this is not solicited. Yeah. You paid for my advice, I can give it to you.
So it was more like the higher guidance that eventually helped you to find back balance on your feet.
Sorry if I don't mind my language. Shit happens.
Yes.
And you could have two choices when it happens. Some people take and say, okay, you step on shit, okay, oh, shit, I have a lot of shit. I have shit, and then they wonder why nobody wants to be around them. But when you're depressed, that's basically what you do. And you need to learn how to wash your hands, and it's a process. And if the process, you have some good friends that are with you.
Corporate leader, I know you also have been doing it for a really long time. And I'm just curious, like back then, I mean, you just mentioned you were arrogant. Were you also arrogant as the boss?
Oh, I was blessed with a toxic boss that taught me what I should never do.
Sometimes we actually, very often we learn what not to do from people around us.
And the toxicity was so bad that I almost wanted to quit. Only by luck that I had the resignation letter in my pocket. The boss of my boss, when I came to give him the resignation, he say, don't even show it to me, come to my home tonight. And at his home, I came there and he told me, how would you like to be my second in command, my chief of staff? Because my chief of staff is leaving. And if you're going to come here, you're going to be the boss of your boss. So overnight, it changed.
The situation changed. So what was your revenge?
I had the conviction before that whatever happened, I'm going to do it differently. And I came to him and I said, I know what you need. I was your deputy, and you're going to get everything that you do. But when I give you the people, if you're going to behave to them the way that you did to me, I'm going to take them away from you. And we were best of friends. He's on my Facebook. I learned what not to do. He was a great teacher. I'm blessing him. I'm very grateful to him.
You know, Avi, I think by now we have recorded like more than 70 interviews probably. And I mean, people sometimes surprise me when they come and they either stories that they share or just the way how they are. Sometimes they do bring gifts. Sometimes they bring gifts for me or for the team. They give us something. I'm
sorry, I should give it to you. I'll send you back.
But I was trying to say, I actually never, until now, had a person who would show up with gifts for all YanaTV guests. And this is what you did. Those are the certificate of planted trees. And I think it's also a beautiful story of itself. Maybe not everyone knows, I have a baby who is 10 months old or young right now. And Avi was just very kind to decide to give us a gift, a tree, to the baby. And that's kind of how it started, right? So the first certificate is here in the honor of birth of my daughter, which is really, really sweet of you to do. However, there are, like I think, 49, and we said we are getting more because we want to cover all 70. There are 49 certificates, and each one of them going to go to each of YanaTV guests. It means that the trees have been planted in their honor. And I'm just so amazed at this kind of generosity and thoughtfulness. And I would like to ask you about the story here. Why do you feel that you want to be so generous and giving with people?
I don't see myself generous. I see myself in debt. Every human being consumes about 7 trees a year, and 7 trees, if I live for 100, is 700. I have my kids and their mom and Lisa. So if you make the math, I'm in debt of a few hundred trees, and I'm on a mission to make sure that at least I bring back what I consume. And I have an opportunity with these certificates to share this story with other people and say, look, Donald Trump, no Donald Trump, we cannot rely anymore on governments to do it for us. If we, as a people, each one of us, will just bring back the debt that we owe nature and put 700 trees for each person in our family, we are replenishing what we are taking. And if you want to do more, great, but at least give back what you are indebted. And if 10% of the people that will get this certificate will do the same, and they will share the same story, and they will give to people that are newly born, I guarantee to you, it's great because the trees that we have today were not planted by us. And we need to do this for the next generation. And how do you feel when you get this certificate for your daughter?
I feel a lot of love, a lot of just like it's a very memorable treasure. Maybe that's the right word. It feels like a very treasured moment and very sacred. Maybe that's the other word. It's something I would just keep, with those first word, first step, first mommy, daddy, baby picture,
First tree.
First tree, exactly. It belongs to those
I still have the certificate that my father put for me 63 years ago. So if you're thinking about a good gift that will be meaningful among all the toys that the kids will outgrow, this is
I love it. It's a great idea. It's a great idea. Avi, today, if you were to describe yourself today in 3 words, what would you say?
3 words. So one of them would be a clown because of the mistakes that I do. One of them is delight, because I derive a lot of satisfaction from delighting other people. I have mental orgasm when other people are delighted because of me. Making lots of effort to uplift the contribution that I add to others. So contribution would be my 3rd word.
And with that, I know that you and I have done a really beautiful, you could say a tool, an exercise, a practice that helps us to fill our cup every day and just remember how grateful and blessed we are for everything we already have. I just would love us together to do that very special exercise.
With pleasure. I think that gratitude is second stage. What we skip is understanding what we have, that we are blessed. And then once we count our blessing, then we can be grateful.
Well, I would like to count the blessings today. Let's do that.
So you watch us, you could help me out. And what happens in the morning when we wake up as we have horse blinders. We only look at the things that did not happen. We look at the to-do list, the errands, the annoyances that we're going to have, the problems we're going to need to solve. But this is only 10% of our life. And Yana, I will need you to help me.
Yes, I am all for volunteering to do.
Do like this, and every time that the answer is yes, you're going to put your hands, and you two, 1 inch to the side and 1 inch up, until we're going to end up like that.
Okay, so to the side and up, and up. Okay, let's do that.
Did you wake up on a bed?
I did.
Yes. Some people have a very, very rough place to sleep.
Even in Singapore, by the way, everyone thinks it's
you had
not.
the roof above your head.
I have.
Yes. Many people are homeless. Do you have running water?
I do.
Yes. So apparently 720 million people in this world need to walk more than a kilometer in order to get water. Are you healthy today?
I am.
That's a big one.
Yeah, that's already like this, you know? Yes.
That's a huge one. Do you have work that you love and feel that is purposeful?
I do.
Yeah. Do you have people that you love and you love them?
I do.
Yes.
And this is like huge.
And the list goes on.
This is the infinite one, right? Yes,
so
I love that. This is the infinite
This is
one.
our life. So if you have all this in your life, are you blessed?
I am so blessed.
If you're so blessed, can you be grateful about it?
Oh, I'm so grateful.
And there's
I'm so grateful to you for reminding me of all of this today in such a beautiful way.
And this allows you to become authentic. And I tell you why. Because if I ask you on a bad day, how do you feel? What are you going to answer me?
I'm very blessed. But maybe I'm sad or I feel tired. You know, I'm a mom to a small baby, right? I could feel tired. I could be blessed and tired or maybe irritated sometimes.
Exactly. So the blessed and grateful help you to be authentic. You could say, I'm blessed and grateful and angry. I'm blessed and grateful and sad. I'm blessed and grateful and tired. And when you could share this also with people that at work, when you can share it with your employees, and you could allow your employees to be authentically telling you, I'm blessed and grateful and very angry or sad, and say, okay, maybe I could take over the shift, go rest for 1 hour. And my day start at 90 because I know I'm blessed. And if it's a terrible day, it's going to stay at 90. But usually the day is so much better. I fluctuate, but not between 100 to 0, but between 90 to 100.
This is a beautiful, beautiful example. The final question for today. Why red jacket?
Fun. I always admired the people in India. The only place I receive standing ovation for every talk is in India. So I admire the colors in India. The ladies will wear sari with all the colors. And I said, if they can, why can't I?
Yes. And our authentic self, I can see that a 12, 15, 16 years old boy, coming through with all this, boldness. And with that wonderful story about the red jackets. Thank you so much, Avi. That was Avi Liran today in the studio of YanaTV. And I would love to hear about your really unusual, interesting story from the childhood. Feel free to share in the comments. And of course, always remember the trees, remember certificates. We always encourage that, to support that. And subscribe, share, and comment. We're going to be seeing you next time with another guest. Smoking is a good step,
I wasn't smoking.
Okay,
but
that was
a
the joke of the
joke.
It
was a joke.
Yes. Okay, I love that.
Since I managed to get girls, I stopped smoking.
Yeah.
I did it to impress them.